What is an industry life cycle analysis? Well, this is simply an approach or a tool for assessing where an industry, or sometimes a company within an industry, but an industry sits in its stage of development within a period of time. Now, the general understanding of the life cycle or stages of an industry or company's development is generally broken into four phases. First, it's expansion, then peak, contraction, and trough, right? You reach the low point again before you start the cycle over. Another way of looking at it is the introduction of the product, the growth phase within the industry, the maturity and the leveling out, and then the decline before the cycle starts over again. So this is a good representation of that. You're looking at two metrics here. One, period of time, and two, industry output. So introduction is when you're introducing your value proposition and you're beginning to grow. Okay, now once you find product market fit and you really establish yourself, you enter into this growth period where you achieve rapid growth in the industry. If you were to align this with the expansion, peak, contraction, trough labeling, then you would simply label this as the expansion period from introduction through growth. Now, the peak period is kind of in line with maturity. After a while, your growth begins to level out, or the output you're putting out becomes more constant in nature. You don't continue this rapid growth that you see during the introduction and growth phases. Now, at this stage, you are probably yielding the most return on investment. It's a profitable company, but after a while you start to get eroded through competition, so you begin to contract somewhat. You exit the maturity stage and you start to decline, and this decline demonstrates, your industry position, that other competitors are starting to take your place. And then you get down into a trough where you level out again, where it's basically starting over at that introduction phase, whereby you begin to innovate, introduce new products, things of that nature, so that you start the cycle over. You enter a new growth phase, back into a maturity phase, etc. So this cycle continues to repeat. Now, an industry life cycle analysis simply seeks to determine where a company is in this life cycle. Is it at the point of introducing the value proposition? Is it at a growth phase? Has it reached a mature status where it's maintaining more or less its position in the industry? Or is it in decline, approaching again a trough where it would then thus start the cycle over again? So this is an industry life cycle analysis, and there are any number of factors that could indicate where a company or an industry sits in this life cycle. So this is how the industry life cycle concept is applied.